So I recently got into Fallout New Vegas. It was like really the first time I played it. I played it. I mean, like I played it twice before. I don't remember the first time I played it was. It was like in high school. I didn't really get it. I was just like, okay, run forward, attack thing. Like to me, I just thought it was a shooter, but you could lower the difficulty to the point where it basically could just be a shooter with very few RPG mechanics. Didn't really get my money's worth out of it. Then I remember playing a Game of the Year version, which I think came with some extra content. I'm not sure if it came with it. I don't know if the Game of the Year version came with it, but I really thought I bought some sort of content package back when they're selling them at the stores. And I don't remember playing any additional content. I just went through it. Both times I played as the NCR just because it's not only the plot that kind of guides you towards the NCR, or it's like all the XP does. Like I didn't want to play. I just say, you know what? I'm going to do a Legion playthrough before at all, and aren't Legion, so I betray them. But the thing is I didn't. Normally, I stay within that little city, the Good Springs. You just stay there and you just complete everything, and then you leave. But like I left before I complete everything there, and there's kind of this like auto save. Like there's even this warning, like warning, you're leaving the starting area. Like well, it's probably the best. So I was like freaking out. I started the game on hard. At this point, I was playing hard. I wasn't playing on very hard. Once I realized it wasn't very hard, right around Prim, I changed it. The game became so much more rewarding. I was playing as a melee character, mind you, okay? And the powder gangers will just shoot you dead. They'll just shoot you dead. I was at Prim at around level 10. And yeah, they'll just shoot you dead in the streets. 3 powder gangers against you, it's over. It's just over. So I couldn't really accumulate that much EXP. The Vicky advances thing was so funny. The whole Vicky advance thing was so funny. It was so funny. The way how they're like, well, they weren't like Bonnie and Clyde, but Bonnie and Clyde copied them because their crime spree happened 4 days earlier, and how like they didn't like. The way they died was they accidentally drove through a crime scene where the police were shooting it, and so they got broadsided on both sides. That was hilarious. And how they were just like they were like fudging checks. That was the thing. Yeah, so but before that though, I tried to do the powder ganger. I just want to be powder ganger aligned, and like they didn't like me. They just didn't like me at all. And like you can even talk to the lady at Good Springs. Like, well, what happens if I help the powder gangers? And she's like, I don't know why you would do that. And she's not just like, I thought she was just being biased. I thought she was like, oh, please don't do that. But no, there's no reason to help them out. The NCR ends up crashing their scene anyways. That was horrifying to escape at, I think, level 8 or 9, maybe level 10. No, it was probably closer to 9. When the NCR raid the correctional facility, at first I thought I could fight them, but no, they're too powerful. They're absolutely too powerful. When they start shooting, it sounds like an entire battlefield. Like the powder gangers have theirs sorted, but the thing is the powder gangers are in onesies and twosies, and the NCR forces are at least in group of 4. And when they start shooting those service rifles, it's like nothing else in the game, I'm telling you. Maybe I have to go back and liberate the prisoners or something, but it horrified me. If 1 or 2 of them are shooting at you, you're just dead. You can't even outlast them because as soon as you kill one, then they just all start coming. They all shoot you. The only thing to do is just throw the powder gangers in your way as you run away from the assault. So that was rewarding. It was rewarding just to have a weird little like side take of the whole thing. It was cool. It was cool. I did have some issues overall with the game saving, or rather, loading autosaves seemed to be bad. It seemed like that could crash my computer. But besides that, everything ran pretty smoothly. There were some places in the mountains where I could see through. That happened a lot, but it wasn't like debilitating. You know, it was just the amount of charm this RPG has overrides all that stuff. Um, there's that other place, Nipton. Is it Nipton? Yeah. The lottery, the whole lottery thing. Look, when the last two times I played this, the other time was like 10 years ago, so maybe it was like 10 or 11 years ago. The lottery was horrifying. I mean, I've seen it done before. I mean, I've seen the lottery done plenty of times at different places. The whole idea of an evil lottery is great, but I'd never seen it done this well. It was really done. How like, well, everyone in third place gets to be a slave. Everyone in second place gets beaten. They just get beaten, and then the winner, you know, he was actually pretty happy about it. So I guess he really did win the lottery. Oh yeah, you know, I like that. I like that lady you killed Novak. She's like, "You'll be safe here thanks to our wonderful snipers." You know, so she makes it clear that there's terrible things out there that are being kept at bay. Um, the party tactics are actually kind of important because you do want to kind of tweak them and tell them what you want to do. The thing is, though, if you're zipping around on the outside, or rather on the DLCs, I think you guys forget the party tactics, but they do retain their equipment, so maybe they don't forget it. Really, this game really got going for me. This game got really going for me right when I turned level 15, because that for me was that was the point where I wanted to do the DLC. So I did the DLC. I think it was called Old World Blues, and that was like the climax of the game for me. Because, like, you know, you get here and everyone's all happy-go-lucky, or you know, the robots, they're kind of cool, they're really freaky, and it's really bad that your brain's gone. I mean, that was just, to me, is like, oh no, I need my brain though. We need to keep that in me. So the game really started once I went outside and I fought the lobotomites. The lobotomites, one of their guns, one of their pistols seems to have the same efficacy of the NCR guys. And the thing is, the difference is well, the NCR guys definitely shot faster, but like two lobotomites could just shoot you down dead with pistols. The 45, I think they have 45s on them. And then, but the best part though is was with idiots running around with the axes. If you just VATS the shit out of them, you can stab them and bring them down. And those proton axes, I think, might be the best weapon in the game. I don't know, at least the way I use them, because I ended up getting that perk after I got, because this whole dilemma, now like this game turned from narrative based, where you can approach a problem from many different areas, to this very linear combat system shit where it really got pretty intense there at old World Blues on the very hard difficulty on survival. Because I would use like 4 or 5 consumables after every engagement or during every engagement. Like I would have to pretty much like re-heal myself to the top after I killed them all. And I would be finding like on average like 1 or 2 consumables after every fight. So I was just consuming. Okay. The Protonic Axe though is so good. I don't know if it's as good against the flying robots and other kinds of robots as the laser gun should be or is, but I didn't use the laser gun because my guy didn't know how to use energy weapons. And it just kills everything, because I gave myself that perk where you knock them down, and it seems like it has just enough weight. It's as quick as a weapon can be while still having the weight to knock down the enemies, and that is so crucial, is knocking them down, because when they're down, you can just hit them with free shots over and over again. And the important thing is they stop you, and sometimes they drop their weapon. It's all just a calamity for them as soon as you can knock them down. And that's really how I got through most of the games, just knocking them down. But after, like, because I would be getting just about 5 levels per day of playing this game, and I got all the way to like level 20 before I was like, well, I'm out of everything. My next engagement will be my last. You can't go to the guy. You can't go to the commissary. He's not a commissary guy, but you can't go to the guy that you buy things from because he only has one set of things, and you already bought that. So then I realized, okay, I gotta get the auto dock. The auto dock was really useful because he can heal you for free. So I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I lived so long without a doctor because my limbs were just starting to fall off. And so that was fantastic. But then the biologist changed everything. And right on top of that, I also got the perk where there's one perk in this game which just makes the game so much better in so many ways. And maybe it's just because I had max survival that it was so good. But the thing that makes people dispense sauce, like the thin red paste or whatever the fuck it's called, and the blood sausages are a godsend. They are so important. They're every time, like every living enemy has a 50% chance to drop these, and I can't tell you how important it is to just be able to instantly harvest food off of them. It's not a cannibalism. I was thinking about cannibalism. That might have helped me out a little bit, especially in old world blues, because it's a hellish nightmare place. Like it's basically just a miniature Fallout map, but instead of there being bastions of safety or friendliness or like, oh yeah, hey, you found me. Now you get the treasure or some shit like that. Now it's just like lobotomites, the lobotomite hordes running around. Just they have no mercy. I don't know what they I don't know. The thing about the lobotomites is for whatever reason I just didn't. There was just a little bit too much text here, so I didn't really figure out what exact. I know, yeah, they've had their brains removed or something, but I had my brain removed. I'm not just endlessly scout. Well, I guess I am. Never mind. I am a lobotomite. I'm just as bad as they are. I'm just not as blind. Yeah, no, I just go around killing just like they do. Yeah, no, I guess that answered it. That just answered it for me. Lobotomites, their brain surgery just makes them want to go around killing things and killing people, just like mine did. So I guess the surgery was a success, but really they don't even say anything. In order to lighten up this whole like gloomy portion of I want to call it lobotomotopia, or yeah, lobotomotopia. I mean, look, but it is funny when you talk to Dr. Klein and you're like, why do they call it the big empty? And it's like, well, because savages hear the word MT and they hear empty, and that was funny, but I actually want to call it lobotomotopia. Sickeningly enough, lobotomites are allied with, I think, every creature on the map, so the flying robots, and when I first got there, the flying robots were horrifying. The Mr. Gusties, they had these in fact, no, almost the entire time, they had these laser guns that would just melt me into ash and goo. If I was lucky, I could become goo. If I wasn't lucky, I'd just become ash on the spot. They were awful. If you could run up to them, whack them with a protonic axe, that made it done. But they were horrifying, and then those fucking Night Stalkers. I didn't even know that there are Night Stalkers on the map. Like, there are actual Night Stalkers in a couple places. And those things, I hate them. I hate the noise they make. I hate how much damage they do. I realized that really the only way to deal with them at my level was just to walk backwards and slash, and they would run into me. I did buy a trusty katana, and I think that helped me out a lot, just because even though there wasn't a high chance for it to knock down, I could just slash things so many times. And there were upgrades available at Mick and Ralph's to make the blade sturdier and then make the blade do more damage. So it was all in all a win. And I don't know. I like using the katana. It might not have been the best weapon in the game. It was fun to use though. Eventually though, after I got the Salient Green, because I had all these vegetables with me, I converted all of them. Eventually, after I got the Salient Green and the thin red paste, all my odds changed around immediately. Finally, I had just reached that level threshold where I was really probably almost at my strongest the rest of the game on. I got, I think, to level 41. Um, for me, though, the entire story of Fallout was basically that was a climax for me. Just like I've been playing here for a whole day, and I just ran out of supplies, and you know everything I brought with me is now pretty much gone. So where am I gonna get more? Once that was answered, and honestly, it was only a problem because of my own neglect. I was just too terrified, really. Yeah, no, I was too terrified to go walking, trouncing around there. I did not. And suddenly, this is the part where the game stopped becoming like, okay, this is live how I want, free, do what I do. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna make this voyage to go see if this dungeon maybe I can do something in there. And then I walk there, and I just get killed. So I reload the save outside the dungeon or before I start moving, and then I'll get to the next dungeon. They'll be like, well, you need the laser gun, and I'm like, I'm already short on equipment. I'm already short on storage anyways. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I go back, I get the gun. So the trip there has like one or two encounters. The trip back, one or two encounters. The trip over there, one or two encounters, and then the dungeon starts. So I try at this point. I was trying not to save scum too much, but by the end of the game, I was honestly saving like every time I did anything. That though, honestly, is part of that paranoia is due to the fact that the game kind of just like won't load sometimes, which was kind of a bummer for me. But it was, yeah, it wasn't deliberating. But at least if I had a save right then, but I did save scum by the end of it. You know, by that point, at level 15, before I went in, I already got to the quest point where you confront Benny. I'd already gotten that far because I was just like, okay, I can't really do much without helping out the NCR. So I'm just going to keep discovering and exploring. So I discovered the outside of Vegas. There was one quest in New Vegas, which was so... I had to look online just because there were 3 different objective points on the map, and it just seemed like I kept getting led in a direction over and over. I followed this for like way longer than I'd like to admit, until I just looked it up, and I had to go to the NCR place, and they'd be like, "What's the password?" Then you go to the fort or whatever, and you ask, "What's the password?" And they say, "Here's the password." And you go and you talk to her, and she's like, "Okay, let's make a deal." My only real gripe about this game, just that it's in a design context, is for whatever reason the urban areas all really look similarly. Like I can't memorize the structure of the outside of New Vegas at all. To me, it's just one hideous, unending sprawl. And the maps are so big there, so you're just wandering around out there for so long. I don't know. And then the way that the fast travel works in New Vegas is, oh god, it's terrible. I hate it. But those are my only real gripes about this game, and just like being in buildings for a long time, you're just like, okay, wow, the tiles in this, I don't know. But I mean, for as dated as this game is, that's really not a whole lot. I liked that I could just decide, okay, I'm going to be a Caesarite, and I'm going to be a melee guy. And the melee was tough to do, but I liked the melee a lot because it gave me something different to do than just crouch, bad, shoot him, and then shoot him. I mean, not don't get me wrong, that there's a lot of possibility they had there, but I've just done that particular thing so many times that I will say the melee weapons all handled really differently and pleasingly too. And without a doubt, one of the strangest, I wish I would have learned this at the beginning, but I think it's called dead money. When you're and this place is really creepy and weird, and it doesn't feel that put together at all. I don't know. Okay, so the one thing I'll say about each of the DLCs is they did a pretty good job of delineating, like just the tone and the pace and this and that of each of the DLCs. I will say that by far the gas mask people in Dead Money were horrifying. I wish I would have realized that with my high strength, throwing the spear staffs at them or the knives, the knife spears, throwing those at their heads, almost an instant decapitation every time. Almost like if it hits, just decap them. I wish I would have realized that because they get stabby up close. And that guy with the bomb, oh my gosh, it's so important to throw something at him before because he'll just. The guy with the bomb is hilarious. He'll toss the bomb and then just like go about his business, run away. Something that's really just a really fun, wacky part of Fallout for me is the fact that if one of the NPCs drops a gun or like the best gun there, the other ones will race to pick it up to shoot you with it, which is annoying, but it's also predictable enough. But yeah, those creatures, just being alone with those creatures for so long was just like, eh. It was kind of cool to have those different party members. Everyone was a different party member. But I don't know, like they're, the guy was like, okay, kill them. I feel like it should have penalized me or something for not killing them because I was just like, oh, maybe not. I don't know. It just that the whole thing reminded. I don't know. I felt like I was going to be killed. Now, I guess he did try to kill me. I just yeah, for me, like the game gets so much funner or more fun on the hard difficulties because like you have to chem up before every battle. Psycho, Med-X, beer, like those are so important to have. And if you've got some other cool shit, that's great too. Rushing water, pretty great, pretty excellent. You got to just like you have to dump so many things before almost every combat, unless it's against just like one guy. Maybe not, but it's like my guy is constantly doped up, so I have to stack my weapons with my armor, with my stats, and another cornerstone of that is just being constantly doped up and just like souped up. I've never played a game like that before, where I had to like, okay, well, normally for me when I play the game on a difficulty, it's just like, okay, well, I'm going to be really nasty now, use some psycho, but now it's just like need psycho. There's something really meta to do. You can start the game with that loophole perk, so you don't get addicted, and the downfall of that is, once you get to level 30, you can't level up anymore. Which it could be considered a downfall in some ways, and in other ways, just it might be nice to have a max level, but I like having my max level. You start with that, and then once you get to Old World Blues, you can talk to the auto dock and remove it. So you basically get the best of both worlds. You never get shunned by it. The next one I couldn't complete. I couldn't complete the Divide. The Divide. That guy at the end was so hard, and you know what? I just got demoralized. I left. I know you're supposed to detonate the things on him, and I collected so many mines and I have so many missiles and that, but he just did not take any damage to anything I did to him. Maybe I'll go back and redo it. I might just have to just do that and then comment on here. The last one was kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. It was just different. It was just a different tone and tenor. It was kind of a cool restriction, only being able to carry 100 pounds of shit to the last one, to the Northern Passage. It was pretty wild how the entire party, or all those spelunkers going with you just got gunned down at the beginning. It was kind of funny how they just died. I got there and I was like, oh, this is the meme guy, the burned man. Oh, this is the meme guy. I didn't know that. I always thought I just missed something crucial of the original content. I don't know. I mean, it was okay. It was just really okay. It wasn't anything too special. It was just really super okay. I liked Follows, Chalk, and all those people because nowadays that would absolutely be considered cultural appropriation. But I just liked that their whimsical lifestyle. He looked pretty cool shooting his pistol. He looks like that Adult Swim character actually. There's like a Indian looking guy with a snake hand or something. He looks a lot like that for some reason. It was all right. Normally, I just kill Benny in the casino because I'm so powerful that not even the chairman can stop me. But this time, I wasn't that powerful because it was on very hard difficulty. So I went to the room, and Benny fled off. And um, I guess I see now how. Oh fuck! Yeah, okay. If I didn't kill Benny in the casino and I wasn't aligned with Caesar, then I probably wouldn't have been able to take the thing from the platinum ship. I felt really bad when I killed Mr. House. I was like, greetings from Caesar, and he was like, what? Slavery for mankind? No! Like, that was his last thing before I cleaved him. I felt bad about that, but I reminded myself that I want to do a Legion playthrough. But honestly, I think Mr. House, I don't know, it seemed like he had at least not the worst. I mean, he'd been working on it for so long. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what the missile Securitrons would do besides just liquidate all his foes, which I think that was just the idea. Yeah, no, he wanted to make an army. They just, I don't know. I don't know exactly precisely what to do. I didn't really pay attention that much. Probably the best ending is the talk with Yes Man. That might seem like the best one. I don't know. I got blown up with the boomers so many times. That guy definitely deserves that bet. I don't know. I kind of just wait. I just sat there and waited until the shots stopped coming. Then I ran up, and then, yeah, you ran down the fence, and that was the best hint because if I would have just snuck around, I would have got blown up again. The boomers story is just pretty funny. They just want to blow people up, and Caesar was even so like horrified by their weapons of war that he hasn't even bothered touching them after the Battle of Hoover Dam. I really do wish the game would let me play after the Battle of Hoover Dam. Battle of Hoover Dam was pretty cool. I fired a lot of missiles and stuff, and the NCR soldiers died. It was a little misleading, like because the big mask guy, whatever the fuck he is, he told me he wants me to go underground to talk to the NCR commander, and then the other guys are like, well, we got guys stuck underground. And so I thought I'd have to go underground the tower, but no, you just keep going across the other place, and that's where you find the guy. And I guess overall it was a pretty good boss battle. The four heavy NCR guys at the end did mess me up a little bit. Also, I won't lie, but it was fun rushing from room to room with the Caesarian troopers, the Kaiserian troopers in support of me. I just had to be careful where I fired my explosives, but they did help out. They did their part. The final battle was pretty tough, and it was a journey. To level 41, it took me like about a week to do, about a week of straight playing through all of spring vacation, and it was a pretty great, experience. It's just it seemed like after level 15 things went from a narrative based orientation to a purely gun based orientation, and that's fine. But I just missed the great writing, just like all the incredible writing of the beginning. By the end of it, all the factions just seem kind of factiony. I don't know. It the game gets broader in scope towards the end, and I don't know. All in all, fantastic playthrough. The only thing that like really seems to change is just the consistency and the direction of the gameplay. Um, but yeah, this is an incredible game. I liked it a lot.